You know, every day we are all faced with a similar choice. We don't recognize it. We're always faced with the choice of the red pill or blue pill. Normally we just take the blue pill without realizing. We wake up in our beds the next day and life goes on and we believe what we believe. Until it gets too late. My realization of this began on this day in 2011, May 17. It was just another great day. I was in Paris, just landed there on work. I had a few hours to kill. The following month, I had signed up for a 100K run in Singapore, so I said I better go and do some training. Yeah, 100 kilometers, that's it. And so I decided to go out for a run in Paris. Ran along the south bank, was crossing on a bridge to the north bank, and got hit by a bus, literally. When the medics came, they found me in a coma, which is, they have a coma scale. Basically, it's 1 to 15. 1 and 2, they never gave a score to. So you start at 3. And that's what I was at, coma scale of 3. The ambulance took me to the closest hospital. The hospital said, please don't get in here. Let's move you to the nearest trauma, the best trauma center in Paris, which fortunately had some space, and that's where I was. Because of the accident, they didn't really know who I was. I was a John Doe. And so for that day, or for a couple of days in the world, I was a brand new person. I was called Polytron. Great name, Polytron X. So a man of the X team. The police had been given my phone, which they unlocked the following day, and then they called Anu. My brother and brother-in-law, who happened to be in Europe at the time, flew down to the hospital. The doctors weren't very optimistic about my prognosis. At best, they said if he wakes up, he would be paralyzed neck down. At worst, he may never get up. So that's what they prepared my family for. Fortunately, I woke up. And then I realized that I had been given this choice. Take the red pill or the blue pill. By my Morpheus, that is my own mortality. Since then, I've had the chance to obviously spend a lot of time in hospitals, but also more importantly, spend a lot of time talking to people who've got similar issues like me. Whether it's been an accident, it's been a stroke, it's been something, brain tumor or cancer. And so I guess I've got much more closer in my own relationship to my death, my mortality. And so I thought I would take this opportunity to just spend some time just to share my lessons. So let's start at the end, dying, death. All of us know at one day we are going to go. I know some people, maybe one of you guys who's a hotshot private equity investor is looking at investing in longevity kind of technologies, and I hope something does work out. Most likely all of us will be gone from here by the end of the century. However, when we think about it, we don't really think so much about death. What we think about more is the pain and suffering of dying, if we think about it ever. We all experience it. Loved ones passing on. But it's too late by that point in time. So pain and suffering, as Archana was talking about Buddha, one of the first principle of Buddha's 4 noble truths is life is dukkha, which crudely put is life is suffering. Now, suffering should be distinguished between suffering that is part of life and suffering that's unnecessary. Suffering that part of life is a fact. It's a given. Whether you accept it or not is a different story, but it is there. So my accident left me with what is called a spinal cord injury. A spinal cord injury is where, at least in my case, my brain and the body don't necessarily talk to one another very well, which is not very different than where they were before their accident. Unfortunately, it's left me with a few deficits. And the deficits are I have loss of sensation, loss of balance, loss of motor, flexibility, skill, strength, amongst others. I quickly realized that that's a fact of life. I accept it and I move on. That journey of moving on without trying to say that something is going to change which will give me back everything, I think is really important. It is the first of this lessons on the red pill and blue pill. The blue pill is where you say, no, this has been an accident, it's not happening to me right now, maybe I will wake up one day and things will all be fine. Red pill is, I take